Good luck with the algorithm, because I don't think we can say the D word on this podcast.
Dignity.
Welcome to Fun Untitled. I will be your mortuary assistant, Annie.
Oh my god, what a reference. And I'll be your choo-choo spider train conductor, Minty.
You couldn't say like my Morticia, Minty?
I was thinking of video game.
And this is Fun Untitled, where we serve every podcast on FU.
But we'll talk about death.
I think you gotta say Unalive.
Isn't Unalive specific to suicide?
No, another one. Whatever. We're not getting this monetized yet. One day, way down the road, when you look back on us before we made it big, you'll see this video. So yeah, top 5 anime deaths. So obviously, a shit ton of spoiler warnings. Now we're talking about shit ton of spoilers, like from anime, from manga, from your dad's anime, from your dad's hentai, all that shit.
How crazy would it be if we actually had a hentai answer?
That would be Guna behavior, which is on my brand.
Do they die in hentais?
Of course. And then when the husband dies, you console the widow.
No, that's different.
So, my number 5 is Princess Euphemia from Code Geass.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Now, okay, to understand why it's sad, you have to understand that Code Geass follows Lelouch, whatever his last name is, the douche.
Britannia?
And he's from a royal family. One day, his mom got shot, his sister got blind and crippled, and he's like, I swear vengeance against the royal family. And at this point, everyone in the royal family is an asshole. Then you meet Princess Euphemia, his half-sister, and she's like literally a Disney princess. She's super sweet, and she's like, Lelouch, I know you're killing all these British people, but I really do want the Brits and the Japanese to get along. So truce, and then we can have like, a good time. And Lelouch is like, yeah, I'll change my ways. It's like if Light Yagami from Death Note was like, oh, maybe I'll use my Death Note for good instead of whatever this is.
Technically, he thought he was using it for good.
Well, technically, Lelouch also thought he was doing it for good. And then, I don't know why, so stupid, but she's like, by the way, how does your power work? And Lelouch was like, oh, I can make you do anything, even if you don't want to. Like, I could tell you to kill all the Japanese. Kill all the Japanese. No, my powers is getting too strong. And then she just kills a lot of the Japanese. And in an anime, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a super depressing scene. I think he ends up killing her too.
Yeah, and then Suzaku's like, no, my love interest, that's not a man. And she's like, oh, I don't remember anything I did. Does the Japanese and Brit love each other?
Yes.
Fucking superimpose all the scenes of like, fuck you, Princess Euphemia. It's like, yeah, Yuffie, still fine. Oh, it fucked me up as a child, almost as much as it fucked me up with Nina on the table.
Annie, god damn it, please.
I told you we was going to get spoilers to the hentai.
That's a good scene though. It fucks up a lot of people, and it's like, is this the end of the show? It's like, nope, absolutely not.
It's also sad because it was almost Lelouch is like, hey, I get to have the best of both worlds. I get to be with my family, and I get to revolutionize the Japanese. But no, we're not doing that.
And you started with Princess. I was like, what the fuck are you gonna say?
What's your number 5? I bet you're gonna feel real dumb now.
You know, it's funny. You actually said his name. I was gonna pick Light Yagami.
Are you? Oh, okay.
Well, okay, because like imagine you're like living your childhood in the 1990s and the 2000s, and you come across Death Note and whatever fucked up means whoever bastard introduced you to that goddamn series said, hey, start reading / watching this. And I don't even know if you call him an anti-hero. What do you call him?
Vigilante hero?
Maybe?
I don't know. I think you can call him anti-hero if he kills a lot of innocent people. And he killed those FBI agents.
I mean, he's killed tons of people. He's just like ends justify the means kind of guy, right? And so the whole writing of Death Note is fantastic, right? There's this great back and forth cat chase between L and Light, or Kira, I guess. And then N and Mello? Matt?
No, Mello. Let's go with Mello. Okay, Matt was his boyfriend.
Okay. But the show kind of went like, but I was like, whatever. What does M stand for? Oh, M stands for Mello.
Yes.
And N stands for Nier.
Yes.
And L stood for Lawit.
Lawrence.
It was like weird. It was like not Law. It was like Lawit. Anyway.
I don't think we actually knew L's real name.
Of course you know his real name.
How did he write it in the book?
Basically. But I'm talking about just what the L stood for. I don't remember exactly what his real name, if it was similar to whatever that.
It was dumb as hell making it L and Light.
Kira.
I'm just saying the ship name was hard.
What was their ship name?
I don't know. We weren't in the fandom, but the internet wasn't a thing when we had Death Note.
It was there. Sasuke and Naruto.
True.
But so the way it ends, it's that iconic scene of him dying on the staircase, and it's like it's supposed to represent like he's not going to heaven or hell, he's gonna go in purgatory. And it's kind of like Ed and Mello. I always want to say Matt finally worked together to actually bring him down. Which honestly it would have been cool if it was L. But L's destiny was also pretty cool.
I'm gay.
Shut up.
I knew it was you, but I couldn't.
Suck it, Misa.
I think it's very interesting that it's Shinigami that helped him throughout the series. Ryuk was the one that killed him.
Really?
Yeah, because like I guess that's part of the rules where like he was the one who was gonna bring his end.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he wrote his name. It's fucked up. Because the police wasn't gonna kill him.
I think, to be honest, our 4 to 1 are all the same.
I don't think so. Because my number 4 is a death you don't even know about. So I have to say it in a way that's not spoilery. I put Wolfwood. Nicholas D.
Oh my
Wolfwood from
fucking
Trigun.
God.
Unfortunately, I have read the manga. Minty only watched the anime. So when I say Wolfwood, Minty just thinking about the scene where Wolfwood goes to the church. It's like, no, I don't want to die. Please. And you're like, well, they really did tell that voice actor, can you voice this character and record everything in one day? That's a fun fact, by the way. He recorded all his lines in one day for Wolfwood.
Damn.
And like Johnny Young Boss character, Vasta Stampede is like not even there for the most part in the anime.
Bash was Johnny Youngbosh?
Yeah.
Ichigo Kurosaki?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun fact.
Holy shit.
And then he reclaimed the role in Stampede.
He does?
Yeah.
What?
So, okay, I'm gonna give you a very spoiler-free. So you already know from Stampede that Wolfwood was a child from an orphanage. He was taken from it to become a weapon so he could protect the orphanage, and they gave him a shit ton of drugs, and it made him accelerate his aging.
What?
Yes.
I was supposed to notice from Stampede?
Yes.
Holy shit.
So Wolfwood is like, I think he's supposed to be 20, but he looks like he's in his 40s. It's kind of like that Grant O'Brien joke from Dropout. It was like, do I look good for my age? How old are you? 20. Then you look terrible. So,
Wait, he's supposed to look like he's 40?
kind of.
He does not.
So in the arc where he dies, right, he goes back to his church that he's protecting, and he basically won final battle, and he like ODs on all the serums to make him the best weapon. And the church people don't even recognize him because he's older now. And like Vash is like, we should tell them what you did, and Wolf was like, nah, they won't even believe me. They should just get to safety, like put them on the airship. And so they're flying off, and Vash and Wolfwood is like chilling because Vash is basically just waiting for Wolfwood to die, and Wolfwood's like, hey, you should smile more, Sorry I said your smile was creepy. And it's so sad because Vash is like, please God, give me just one miracle. And this is a whole series about religious metaphors and stuff, so it's a little weird for Vash the angel to be praying to God because normally he doesn't do that. Normally he's the Jesus savior. And again, I don't want to get into spoilers, but like there's like confetti starts flying down, and that's Vash's cue that, oh, this is the closest thing to a miracle I'm gonna get. My friend is not being saved. And then Wolfwood fucking dies. And then Vash has to bury Wolfwood, but they do that off screen because it's so intimate between the two that not even the viewers can see him burying his friend. And that's why Wolfwood had to be on the list, even though you don't know.
I only remember the anime when they shot him down like a dog.
In the 1990s anime, where like that guy's like, I'm gonna shoot you, Wolfwood. And Wolfwood's like, I'm not gonna shoot you back because that's not what Vash would want. I don't fucking care. Shoots. Like, oh God, no, I don't want to die.
So you're telling me all this, and I'm like, bam, bam.
Bam. Like Bambi's mom. Bam, bam.
Damn it, Annie.
So beautiful. Anyways, your number 4?
Oh, well, my number 4 is Jiraiya.
You really thought I was gonna put Jiraiya on my list.
Why wouldn't you?
I honestly, if you asked me what was the saddest death in Naruto, wouldn't even consider Jiraiya.
Who would you pick?
Probably Itachi.
Itachi's a good answer, actually. It is a really good. Okay, so I am picking Naruto.
Naruto is the man. Also, his parents' death was pretty sad too.
Okay, I'm picking Jirachi. Fuck yourself.
I also picked Jirachi. He's my favorite mythical too.
Because I picked Jirachi's one because that was the one that fucked up Naruto.
You gotta say Jiraiya, homie.
Oh my god. You've been embarrassing me this entire time.
Fucks up Naruto, yeah, and then
you've embarrassed me. You go on.
Okay, the reason why I wouldn't put Jiraiya on my list is because his death in itself wasn't that great to me. It was just Naruto crying on the bench with the popsicle that made people sad.
Yes.
Because I think the Jiraiya and his 3 students came out of nowhere.
What?
You know how like Jiraiya, in that fight, it really focused on the fact that he raised Konin, Yahiko, and whatever.
Nagito.
His name is not Nagito. There's no way.
I'm pretty sure it's...
I feel like there would have been a lot of jokes if that guy was named Nagito.
How's the show? It's Nagato. I'm like so close to all these names. I'm one syllable off.
But you like Jiraiya's death more than everyone else's.
Yeah, I will say though, actually, Itachi's probably a very close second. Wait, should I put Itachi? Because Itachi's past is one of my favorite pasts of all time.
Really?
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
I know, it's fucked up, yeah.
And then it's always because of the way his parents said when they were about to be killed by Itachi, where they were like, you know what, son, you followed what you thought was right, and that's why we're proud of you.
It was also a very nice twist. Because from day, I don't know, episode 3, Sasuke hates Itachi. That's the one thing we knew about Sasuke.
Yes.
And for the twist to be like, oh, by the way, Itachi wasn't actually bad, the village was bad. And then Sasuke's like, oh, I will turn against the village. And it made sense.
No, stupid.
Okay.
God damn it. You ruined everything. Why would Itachi kill his own family if he was against the village?
No, I'm saying the village is evil because they made Itachi do that.
It was always the village versus the Uchihas. The Uchiha was gonna... I think they were trying to like usurp the power back because it used to always be Uchiha versus Senju. But Itachi, like, he became an Anbu like really early.
This is why we shouldn't let kids become Genin at 4.
Well, I mean, no. I think... no, I think you're right. Genin at 4. Because I think he became Genin at 4 and Kakashi became Genin at 3. It's some fucked up, like, a timeline like that.
I want to sit Kishimoto down and be like, what the fuck?
You show me a 3-year-old that's even close to doing this shit. But I guess you could say Itachi was chosen to kill the Uchiha. But Itachi was the only one who could. I think because he had Tsukuyomi, if I remember that name correctly. No, there's no way he had Tsukuyomi. Whatever.
He had a dream.
And he cast it on everyone else so that they would die. And that from that day on, he did everything he could to protect Sasuke because he knew Sasuke was gonna one day be taken by Orochimaru.
How does he know that?
How did he become Anbu? I don't know how he knows. It's been a while since I read Naruto. That series has been over, like, God, over 10 years, I want to say.
Gotta
right?
be. They don't make Naruto currency if that series wasn't over 10 years old.
Because I feel like it ended 2014. I do want to reread Naruto.
Man, you bought that Kickstarter thing that gives you every single volume.
Yeah, I got up to Land of Waves.
That was very sad.
Land of Waves is a very good arc. And yes, that was super sad with Haku.
Now I feel like our top 3 might be the same. Because my number 3 is Shinobu from Demon Slayer.
No! Why?
Okay.
Fuck Shinobu!
No. Okay, you gotta imagine when she fights Doma, the killer of her older sister, Kanai. I might get Kanai and Kanao confused. I don't know why.
I always have to like take a second to think of it too.
She gets her last hurrah. She gets her last comeuppance of like seeing Doma being sent before sending him to hell, being like, it was my poison that killed you. Go fuck yourself. And Doma's like, oh my god, what is this feeling? I think I'm in love with you. Go fuck yourself. And Doma gets sent to hell, and fucking Shinobu gets to go to heaven to meet her parents and sister. Then you cut to Inosuke and Kanao, and Inosuke, this like happy, energetic character, is like, yeah, we fucking defeated him. And it finally hits him with a wave of grief, like, oh, you know, he kind of saw Shinobu as a mom, and now he misses his own mother. And yes, that's very sad. But the part that really fucks me up is Kanao being like, I did everything I could, Shinobu. I relied on my friends. I fought really hard. Like, when Kanai died, I'm very sorry. I couldn't mourn for her, but thank you very much for like not being hard on me. It was just very hard for me to like cry and let out my emotions. And then she finds Shinobu's hair clipped in the water, and she gets like a one last good job, Kanao. And Shinobu's off in heaven, and Kanao just starts bawling her eyes out. The stoic character for the whole series, finally allowed to cry. She's finally allowed to mold, and I'm like, damn, absolute cinema.
The saddest death in Demon Slayer is Rengoku.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. We barely knew Rengoku at that point.
You barely know Shinobu.
We got more scenes of Shinobu than fucking Rengoku.
I don't know about that. He had a whole arc for him. But she comes and goes as she please.
She comes a lot more than Rengoku. Rengoku's like your deadbeat dad. Like you have one good memory of him.
Oh my god. Fucking shit. You said it was weird for me to pick Jiraiya because of its effect on Naruto. But you're picking Shinobu on her effect on Kanao and Inosuke. Inosuke.
I also mentioned her last comeuppance with Doma, and she finally gets to go to heaven with her sister and her family. Also, I remember that fight really well. You tell me how Jiraiya died in that fight.
He was fighting Pain and he had the Sage Toad.
Did Pain stab him?
Yes?
Is Rengoku number 3 or no?
You know, none of the Demon Slayers is on here.
Oh, sweetie. Ooh. Love to hear your number 3 then, if none of the Demon Slayers. Wow.
Well, what's hard is that, okay, so this has kind of been set like for like the longest time, but my number 3 like snuck its way into the top, which is Aki from Chainsaw Man.
You know, I totally forgot about that boy.
Why do you always...
I guess he didn't leave that much of an impression. I say with like gritted teeth and closed fists. Like, how did I forget about him? I would have probably bumped Princess Euphemia for him.
But number 5, I put him as number 3. And honestly, number 2 is only there for nostalgia. Because, okay, and number 1 is just securely there.
Securely.
So, most of Aki's character is from season 1, right? Like, what you know of him is right there. He is the guy who's babysitting Denji and Power. He is the guy who has a crush on Makima, which comes up later as a fucked up thing.
He is the guy who is Sasuke Uchiha. He will avenge his family against the Gun Devil. Could you imagine if Sasuke was fighting against a Gun Devil?
Someone who's been like murdering all over the world and literally almost creating a crater. But like Aki's character and archetype is set to be this one way because he is the Sasuke clone, right? He is like the guy who will sacrifice anything for revenge. Except, and this is major Chainsaw Man spoilers, Aki goes to Makima and says, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this fucking thing about killing devils. I just want me, Denji, and Power to just live normal, happy lives. And Makima's like, well, I'm the fucking control devil, so you don't get a fucking choice. And in fact, I'm gonna have the Gun Devil take you over and you're gonna go kill Chainsaw Man. And there's this beautiful paneling of switching between what's happening in real life, which is Aki Gun Devil controlled fighting against Chainsaw Man, and what's going on in Aki's head, which is him having a snowball fight with his brother. And eventually it gets to the point in the snowball fight where Aki's like, oh, we don't have to do this anymore. I'm just gonna go home with you, brother, which is a reflection of the real life in which Aki is just dead. It is like a death scene that's really beautifully portrayed, and it's so fucked up what they did to him.
And also, it's another, I don't mean to shit on you thinking like, oh, what's the effect on other characters. I'm just saying that it is important in its own way. The way how it fucked up Denji, like how he went from one arc being like, oh, I don't think I'd be sad if Aki or Power died. And then like he is like actually like grieving over the fact that he had to kill Aki. It really fucks him up. Comes up again in part 2.
Yeah, that was sad. I put Aki as number 2. Aki really should be my number 2, to be honest.
But our number 1 and 2 has been locked and foretold. Because we both grew up in the same home and we both have a heart. Number 2 for both Minty and Annie is Maes Hughes from Fullmetal Alchemist.
Woo!
So, I think everyone's like, we lived through you gotta watch Fullmetal Alchemist. See that little girl and the dog? They're best friends. They're inseparable. Don't worry about it.
Jesus Christ, Annie.
And then right after that little dog, you get to get your heart broken when you see the comic relief character, Maes Hughes, whose literal defining character trait is to be useful and helpful and kind, get hunted down like a dog. And he is like, because you don't get to see much about the bad guys at this point. This is really the first time you see this one of Sin's Envy, like, be an asshole.
And Envy's an asshole.
And Maes Hughes, he's so cool. Like, he found out all this information and like he's not going down like a bitch. But what's his other character defining trait than being that cool, nice dude? A man who loves his wife. And he is going to get taken down by the image of his wife.
I mean, he really is just loyal.
And then we have to watch his funeral where the daughter cries out, don't bury daddy, I want to see daddy. And Roy Mustang has to cry in the rain. Actually, it wasn't.
No, he says, oh, it's raining when it's not. And Riza says, yes, it is raining. And it's just to explain why there's water on his face.
So sad.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up in so many ways.
After that, Roy Mustang has that really cool scene where he's like killing Envy. And it's like, you killed Maes Hughes, my best friend, I'm killing you too. God, he basically killed Envy and he really killed Lust.
Hella. God, he hates the LGBT sins.
You think Lust?
I think Lust is bisexual.
What? When has Lust ever been with a woman?
In my dreams. And our number one on our top 5 Unalive
Which should be
list
everyone's number
should be
one.
everyone. I don't care if you didn't watch the fucking series.
I can't imagine someone else having somebody else as number one.
I mean, people who don't like One Piece, I guess.
Okay, these are the two people. People who've seen One Piece and people who don't see One Piece. There is no not like because you like One Piece if you read One Piece. You don't like One Piece, that just means you've never read it. And it's because some stupid reason, which is A, it's too long, or B, you don't like its drawing.
Them women do have them curves.
Yeah, but that's not a con enough to not read it.
On number one, I don't even know what his full name is actually. I only know his nickname. Portuguese D Ace.
Is it Portuguese or is it Portugal? What's his nickname?
Ace, the fire fist of the Whitebeard Pirates.
That was the only way you knew his name?
Only way I knew.
Not just as Ace? I was like, I don't remember his nickname.
You have to understand. I mean, on paper, it doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
You hardly see him. You only really see him in Alabasta arc one time seeing Luffy. Then, like, pretty much the next time you see him, he's captured. Blackbeard turned him in and then used that to become a warlord. And Luffy does the whole Impel Down arc to save Ace.
Which is one of our favorite arcs of all time.
Of all time. Then he does Marineford. And you're just like, yeah, we're gonna save Ace. He's a cool character. But the reason why it's on our top number one is when he actually does get killed. And he's like all like crying and smiling, being like, thank you for loving me. Fuck you, Oda.
And then they go into their past, which was a fucked up thing to do.
Ace himself as a character, he's just instantly likable. Like, you don't want to see him die. And then he just like supplement it with being like, we're going to do all this to save him. And in the end, it was all for naught because Ace gave up his life to save Luffy.
God damn.
And then Luffy, like, you know, he's crying on that Amazon Lily, and Jinbei's like, you're not alone, Luffy. You still have your friends. And then you go into a fucking flashback arc of basically Ace because his father was Goldie Roger and his mother died in childbirth because she kept that thing in for 20 months.
Well, I don't even know if it's humanly possible.
You know, he's basically alone. He lost Sabo. He really only had Ace. He only had himself. He really only had Luffy.
Sabo for a while.
Then he died.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. He got better.
Got his memory back.
He's just done very well. And it haunts you in, what's the one Doflamingo always called?
Dressrosa?
Yeah, it haunts you in Dressrosa when they're trying to get his fruit back.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Wano.
No, yeah, it haunts you in Wano with the fact that Ace was there, so several characters actually know who Ace was.
Yeah.
There's a very sad scene in One Piece about Ace's death in Wano.
Of course there is. And then Boichi makes a new series called The Martial King and makes the protagonist look exactly like Ace.
And you're like, Boichi, you went from drawing hentai to just drawing One Piece doujinshis.
I don't think The Martial King's gonna last very long.
Damn, sucker. Well, that's what happened and he's the one writing it, am I right? Okay, and with that, that is our top. Any honorable mentions on your part? I just want to mention in Iron Blood Orphan, it was very sad when Johnny Young boss character, I think his name was Olga, got killed like a dog because they're all orphans, iron-blooded orphans, and you're rooting for them, and then they're finally making it up in the world, but then he got shot, and he's like, no, we're gonna keep moving forward. So he's just dragging himself for no reason because he's trying to go back home, and then you see this giant blood trail, and he's pointing for the future, and he just falls dead. And he's still pointing, because his death will be the foundation of everyone else's future.
I don't know if I have many honorable mentions. Like Yagami doesn't really touch me personally, but I will say like Toga's death. I know Annie doesn't like Toga, but I thought that death was pretty sad.
My Hero Academia?
Himiko?
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Toga, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're getting questioning since I got the whole Jirachi name wrong.
No, it really went from Light Yagami to Toga, that's why.
Well, I'm just saying like it's hard for me to think of a list. I don't
Gotcha.
have on. I just explained this before I said this.
And with that, we will end this episode. Please put in the comments of why you're wrong for not thinking Ace is number one.